All right, firing up here live. Welcome back, everybody, to night 75 of the war in Ukraine. I'm your host, Andy Mercado of Mercado Media. And again, welcome back. Why don't you go ahead and comment where you guys are tuning in from, what city, what state, where in the world. I've been covering this war since the first night of the invasion, and we're on night 75. Can you believe it? We were live. I was live way early this morning at like 1 in the morning covering the Victory Day parade. We covered that whole event. I mean, there were like 4,000 people in the chat. 1 in the morning, late night stream. We were getting it. All right. There were more attacks in Odessa today. After like a few hours after the parade had ended, there were attacks through the night in Odessa, and we're going to be covering that, and I'll be showing you guys the clips and video that have come out of there. President Biden signs a Lend-Lease bill, which will approve another 40 billion to Ukraine for assistance, and we'll be talking about that. The UN the Human Rights Council is going to meet on Thursday to discuss war crimes in Ukraine. I believe they already have, but they're going to be doing it again. We'll be talking about all that and much more. Again, thank you guys so much for choosing independent media. I'm your host, Andy Mercado, and let's get into it.
This is a Russian tank. Like the Pacific salmon, Russian tanks migrate long distances from the abyss of Russia to end their lives in Ukraine's beautiful fields. Driven by an evolutionary desire to end their life somewhere better, after reaching Ukraine, all species of Russian tank die. The 2022 run was a major event for predators, such as Ukrainian SOF teams, TB2 Bayraktars, and local farmers on tractors. Most tank species pop their turrets to celebrate the end of their life cycles.
right, everybody, again, welcome back. I'm your host, Andy Mercado of Mercado Media, and thank you again so much for choosing independent media as your source for the updates in the war in Ukraine. Comment where you guys are tuned in from. How you doing, Central California? We got Twin Lakes, Wisconsin, Florida, Perth, Australia, Houston, Texas. We got Boise, Idaho, Slava, Ukraine. Thank you so much. We got, how you doing, Dawsonville? Welcome. Thank you, John, for joining the channel. Welcome. Can't believe it's already been 2 months. Yeah, and 75 days in. 75 days in. Wellsville, Ohio. Welcome. Good to have you here. Thank you to everybody that's subscribed to the channel. Thank you to everybody that likes the video. Thank you to all of our members of the channel. Thank you to everybody that sends super chats. Thank you to everybody that sends super stickers and really does keep the media going and really has helped me keep going for these 75 days and however much longer we need to go. Thank you to everybody that does help keep it going. Still no sponsor yet. Still no sponsor to this point. Thank you to all the viewers that support, that help keep it going. So let's get into it. You guys can follow along in the description of our video. Ukraine war latest. The UN Human Rights Council announced on Monday it will convene a special session on Thursday to address alleged Russian human rights violations during its war in Ukraine. U.S. President Joe Biden signs the Lend-Lease Act for Ukraine. This means Washington can lend or lease rather than sell war supplies to Kyiv. Russian missiles hit Odessa for a second time on May 9th. A fire broke out at a shopping mall as a result of the attack. Earlier on May 9th, both Odessa and other locations in the Odesa Oblast were hit by Russian missiles as well. General Staff, Russian army resumed storming of the Azovstal plant in Mariupol. Despite a ceasefire declared earlier, the occupiers resumed the offensive on May 9th, Ukraine's General Staff had said. The governor, more than 100 civilians remain at the Azovstal plant in Mariupol. The Donetsk Oblast governor, Pavlo, Kyrylenko, also said that 100,000 people still remain in the whole of Mariupol, a quarter of the pre-war figure. How you doing, Oregon and Fresno, California? From Reuters, U.S. Congress plans almost $40 billion in aid to Ukraine. U.S. congressional Democrats agreed to $39.8 billion in further aid. Sources familiar with the proposal said on May 9th. The proposal exceeds the $33 billion that U.S. President Joe Biden previously requested, and then includes an additional $3.4 billion for military aid and $3.4 billion in humanitarian aid. And let's get into that really quick here. Biden signs Lend-Lease bill for Ukraine, urges approval of $40 billion aid package via Market Watch. Washington sought to portray a united front against Russia's invasion of Ukraine on Monday as President Joe Biden signed a bipartisan measure to reboot the World War II-era Lend-Lease program, which helped defeat Nazi Germany to bolster Kyiv and Eastern European allies. The signing comes as U.S. Congress is poised to unleash billions more to fight the war against Russia, with Democrats preparing $40 billion in military and humanitarian aid, larger than the $33 billion aid package that Biden had requested. It serves as a rejoinder to the Russian President Vladimir Putin, who had seized on Victory in Europe Day, the anniversary of Germany's unconditional surrender in 1945 and Russia's biggest patriotic holiday, to rally his people behind the invasion. Scrolling down, the Lend-Lease bill that Biden signed into law Monday revives the World War II-era strategy to more quickly send military equipment to Ukraine. Launched under World War II, it signaled that the U.S. would become what Franklin D. Roosevelt called, quote, an arsenal of democracy, helping Britain and the Allies fight Nazi Germany. Before signing the bill, Biden said, quote, Putin's war was once more bringing wanton destruction of Europe, drawing reference to the significance of the day. Flanked by 2 Democratic lawmakers and 1 Republican, Biden signed the bill, which had widespread bipartisan support. It sailed through the Senate last month with unanimous agreement without even the need for a formal roll call vote. It passed overwhelmingly in the House, drawing opposition from just 10 Republicans. Let's pull up video of that. Here's Biden signing it into law, or signing it.
It really matters. It matters. There you go. Done.
All right, video of Biden signing it into law. It really matters, Biden said of the bipartisan support for Ukraine. It matters. One of the bill's chief Republican sponsors, Senator John Cornyn of Texas, said in a statement the measure will give Ukraine, quote, the upper hand against Russia, and I'm glad America could act as the arsenal of democracy for its critical partner. Other measures, including efforts to cut off Russian oil imports to the U.S. and calls to investigate Putin for war crimes, have also gained widespread support, though some lawmakers have pushed Biden to do even more. Biden acknowledged his request for more and military and humanitarian aid for Ukraine would have to be separated from money. He also sought from Congress to address COVID-19 crisis at home. So Biden signed that Lend-Lease. There's a photo. President signs Lend-Lease for Ukraine. I'm trying to get back up to the Odessa news. So we're going to be getting to Odessa here. All right. So that is the Lend-Lease that Biden signed. $40 billion aid package. The other news we're going to talk about too here is the UN Human Rights Council to meet on Thursday in Ukraine. The UN Human Rights Council announced it will convene a special session on Thursday to address alleged worsening Russian violations in its war in Ukraine. More than 50 countries on Monday backed Kyiv's request for an extraordinary meeting of the UN's top rights body to examine, quote, deteriorating human rights situation in Ukraine stemming from the Russian aggression. Yevhenilia Filipenko, Ukraine's ambassador to the UN Geneva, said the move would send a signal to Russian President Vladimir Putin as he insisted Russia's war in Ukraine was necessary to defend, quote, the motherland. Quote, together we are here sending another strong message to Putin and his clique of war criminals. You are isolated as never before, Filipenko said in a video message on Twitter. We want to see the UN take practical steps to address Russia's violation of human rights in Ukraine and the war crimes which it commits daily against our people. Russia was a member of the Human Rights Council until the UN General Assembly in New York voted on April 7th to suspend it from the body and from sitting in judgment of other nations' human rights records. Russia then immediately withdrew from the council. During an urgent debate on the invasion, the body voted on March 4th to trigger a commission of inquiry, the highest possible level of investigation into the alleged Russian violations during the war. Filipenko said Monday she wanted the inquiry to probe Russia's crimes committed in Bucha and other liberated areas, referring to the town outside of Kyiv that has become synonymous with allegations of Russian war crimes. Bucha, again, satellite city to the northwest of Kyiv. Bucha Irpin. So here's Kyiv, the capital, and then Bucha Irpin. If you've seen any viral images of mass graves from Ukraine, likely from Bucha. A team of AFP journalists saw 20 bodies in Yablunska Street in Bucha on April 2nd. The Russian army said the scene had been staged. There is also an opportunity for international community to focus on the situation in Mariupol, as well as focus transfers of our population and other violations and abuses against the innocent Ukrainian civilians. We might have to tune into that on Thursday. UN Human Rights Council. Just see what they do. Our confidence in the UN and NATO to get things done have been minimal from our polls in our chat. So let's go around the country now. The biggest updates coming are out of Odessa. The latest, there's been multiple shellings in the last 2 days, and shellings have picked up and increased overnight. We're going to be getting into some video of that. But here was some massive destruction in Odessa after missile strikes today. This happened in the afternoon hours. It would have been Monday afternoon. This was happening while I was live at about 1 in the afternoon my time. But again, it would have been Monday night for Ukraine. It's early Tuesday morning in Ukraine now. So this is one of the missile strikes in Odessa, left 5 buildings and 2 injured. You can see that the whole half of that building's gone. The one thing about this area is it did look like a construction site. Some of these buildings, I'm not sure of these ones. These ones could have been used. There's an AC unit hanging out of that one. But here's another look at it. Here's another look from this video would be taking place in the middle of all this. You can see this building here in this video at the end. All right, so there's the building with the staircase. So the one picture that, or the one video we're gonna watch is taken from this angle to the distance, in the distance. And then there's the building that you see in the distance here. So here's another angle of the same happening. You can see it's a construction site, all the construction equipment and materials laid out.
Там такая вспышка была.
Там мені хорошо, що вікно відкрите було, я возле вікна посуду мила, блядь, тільки на вухо. Ужас. Боже, дивися, що.
Капец отелю.
Де Юра?
Здание задело.
Боже, наше здання, ужас. А Жюль Верна не розбили.
So you have 5 buildings. Let's click this really quick. And I'm going to try to find we got explosions there in Odessa. I'm going to show you the day prior, May 7th. So there's been strikes every day within the last 3-4 days in Odessa. The aviation plant was hit on the 7th. Here's video of that, which we've covered. There's been attacks on the 7th, I think the 6th, or almost every day in May so far. We'll be getting into those. I'm trying to find the hotel video. Been increasing strikes. Here we go. 4-star hotel complex in Grand Patin in Odessa was destroyed. This would have been Sunday. It would have been like early Monday morning. Strikes in Odessa have been increased. So they hit a big hotel that's right on the coastline. I look from a distance, and then I want to show you guys the latest ones that we're likely going to get aftermath videos of probably tomorrow for the next stream. Local sources, so here I'm trying to pull them all up now. So now these were overnight here, because now it's what, 9? It's about 5 in the morning in Ukraine. Following reports of missile strikes over the past hour. So this was overnight. This would have been Monday into Tuesday. I'm gonna wait to see aftermath video when daytime comes around in Odessa. Here's a major explosion. There's a major explosion. This was the latest one in Odessa. It was a big one. One more time from the beginning. Southwestern port city of Odessa. So this occurred overnight. This is the latest strike. Been strikes every day for the last 4 days. Here's another video. Russian missiles hit a shopping center in Odessa, reportedly almost entirely destroying the complex. The Russian Defense Ministry is claiming the Ukrainian military and paramilitary units were using the building as a military equipment depot. You guys are gonna be able to see the strike pretty clearly in this video. It's a big blast.
Коля, быстро отошел.
Ой-ой-ой, сейчас будет волна.
Join our Discord server if you haven't to share any relevant and accurate videos around this, because this is the latest. This just happened overnight, a few hours ago.
Коля, быстро отошел.
Ой-ой-ой, сейчас будет волна.
I would need to reach out to the VPN for them. I don't know. I need to get better at promoting myself. I'm not very good at it. I'm just good at doing the work. I'm not good at getting sponsors and stuff like that. That's things to work on. But that's in Odessa. Massive destruction. Like, we're just waiting for more reports. All these strikes here in Odessa. If you go to the live UA map, you'll see them. Reports exploded, or explosions reported. Odessa under heavy missile attack. At least 7 missile strikes in Odessa. Reportedly, one of the city's malls is on fire. Massive destruction in Odessa. More explosions reported in Odessa. So, and all of these strikes are coming from, follow me, they're coming from here. Right here in Crimea. They're being shot off the coast in the Russian-occupied Crimea. Russian army launched 4 P-800 Onyx missiles from occupied Crimea into Odessa, and that was just the 4 of the missiles. They're sending them on a routine basis at this point. Did we look up what Onyx missiles are? P-800 Onyx missiles? I don't think we have. Let's look this up really quick. Let's see what this missile does. This is just footage. So they're launching these from Crimea towards Odessa. It's got propulsion systems on it to, like, yo. It's got jet propulsion on it to, like, and then it goes. What if it blows up though? Has there ever been any of them that blown up in midair doing that? This is a good example of what it would look like too. This video was taken in 2018. But this is what it would look like from Crimea towards Odessa. It's on a coastline. Yeah, those are big ones. We haven't seen much on these. The SSN-26 Strobel. Let's look up this. Let's look up the UN classification or the NATO classification and see if there's breakdown information. Is it the same thing as the Bastion P? Got the 8x8 on it. We saw these trucks in the parade. So these are what they're launching towards Odessa, chat. They're launching these from the coast of Crimea into Odessa. So when we're seeing these missile strikes, this is what it looks like. And Got like all-terrain functionality, so it can get anywhere. I think it's got to be heavy though. I don't know. That could be sus. Maybe uphill that thing's terrible. They just rest. This whole back carriage is just for the missiles. That's just wild to me that they have those two jets on the actual missile correct its course, like, or straighten it out when it gets shot into the air. Here's some video of that. Look at that, how it course corrects and then it goes. Looks like that piece comes off though. That little propulsion system comes flying off after it gets its spot where it's going. There's a little piece that comes off. So this is their coastal capabilities. Let's continue on. That's their coastal capabilities. P-800 Onyx missiles, classification SSN-26 Strobel. Russian Defense Ministry announces the deployment of battleships carrying Kaliber missiles. I don't know why they announced that, as if that wasn't already known. As if that's like a big announcement. That they are just now using Kaliber missiles. They've been using those. Gene, thank you so much for the $4 super chat. Thank you. And there's nothing. I don't think there's pictures with this one. Nope. Just words. Went through human rights. All right, now we're going to work our way over to Mykolaiv. That's another one of the western port cities that got hit. That continues to get hit now on a routine basis. That's the closest major city to Kherson. Oh, sorry about that. Got a couple happenings in Mykolaiv. There are dead and wounded as a result of the night shelling in the Mykolaiv region. That would have been Sunday into Monday. And then explosions reported in Mykolaiv 5 hours ago, and then here's video of that. Harley, $2.99 super chat. Thank you so much. So behind me, you guys can see the flares from the missile defense. I'm going to hide my camera really quick so you can see, because there's two flashes. There's the flash behind me, and then there's the flash to the left of the screen. And there's a few other ones too. You can see the flares get shot out into the air. So just look where my camera disappeared too. Thank you so much, Rhonda. So there's the flash behind the camera where I was. You can see the flares. And then they disappear. So the strike was to the left. And it does look like Ukrainian air defense is working because there's multiple flashes. All right, this is in Mykolaiv. Here it is on the map. To the east of Odessa and to the northwest of Kherson. Kherson is the last occupied city on the coast if you're heading from east to west, or if you're looking from east to west. Again, the red shaded region is Russian occupied territory. The darker red with the bold outline, that's a Russian occupied territory since 2014. So that would be Crimea, and then Luhansk and Donetsk in the Donbas. Lightly shaded red is land that they've occupied since the invasion, with the exception of Transnistria to the east of Moldova. That's been a breakaway region since 1992. So Crimea and Luhansk and Donetsk, 2014. Transnistria, 1992. All right. See here. We're going to continue moving on. I'm not sure if I have the... I think I have that. No. All right. We're good here. All right. We're going to work our way down to Mariupol. Russian army resumed assault on the Azovstal plant in Mariupol. Just UN column left via evacuation bridge. So here's the Azovstal plant in Mariupol, if you have not seen it yet. It is the last remaining piece of infrastructure that is not under Russian control. There's still a flag flying at the Azovstal plant, or Ukrainian flag. It was designed during the Soviet Union to withstand a nuclear attack. So it's been able to withstand all of the artillery barrages that have been thrown its way. Thank you, Carly, for a $9.99 super chat. Thank you so much. It was built to withstand a nuclear attack. So all these barrages, all the people that were there were safe underground. All women, children, and elderly have been evacuated since last week now. I think the remaining 100 or so that were left, that were okayed to evacuate, left over the weekend, but the bulk of everyone had been gone before the weekend started. All that remains there is the soldiers, the Ukrainian soldiers that are still in the plant. We got a $19.99 super chat from Carly again. Thank you so much, Carly. Let's pull up the video that they provided. It's a Telegram video. I wish Telegram videos could go full screen. Just showing Russian troops outside the plant pushing in. You can see the white identifiers on their uniforms. You can see the white band on the shoulder and the leg. It's a very quick video. Russia is the only country that recognizes Transnistria, right? I'm not saying it so people recognize it for what it is. I'm just for why people are wondering why there's a piece of red over here too. I've had people ask me that damn near every stream. What's up with this? So yes, it's only recognized by Russia, but just to answer why it looks like that. All right, and then let's work our way into the Donbas. This is Donetsk here, so northeast of Mariupol. Missile launch, missile interception. No other updates from today in the Donbas. The M777s have arrived for the Ukrainians to use. Howitzers. Russian missile strike in central Sloviansk. The Ukrainian military reinforced positions at Vovodika near Severodonetsk. So Ukrainian advance in the central Donbas, and then in the north Donbas, lots of dubs for the Ukrainian military. I mean, they're getting villages. They're getting liberating villages on a daily basis, I would assume. If they're already this far in, I'm sure there's plenty of villages that aren't even making the reports that they're liberating. But major villages, they're on a streak right now. And there's more white space on the map, less red, which means that it's more region has been liberated from Russian occupied or Russian control. And this is to the east and northeast of Kharkiv. Here's those villages. I'm going to try to pronounce them. Ukrainian army liberated Bayrak, Zamulivka, Verkny, Saltiv, and Rubinzin, east to Kharkiv. So if anything, Victory Day was some victories for the Ukraine, getting some villages and territory back. Brenda, thank you so much for joining the channel. Thank you. Let's go up to the Sumy region. This is north of Sumy. Russian army shelled the Khotin community of the Sumy region. We got a piece of shrapnel. No reports of deaths from the Sumy region. Speaking of Mariupol, let's get a report quick. That's what I was looking for. On the Azovstal plant. Ukraine says Russian tanks and artillery pound Mariupol steel plant. May 9th, Russian forces on Monday used tanks and artillery in storming operations at the Azovstal plant in Mariupol, where the city's last defenders are holed up. At the Azovstal plant in Mariupol, where the city's last defender... I read that. Russia has declared victory in Mariupol, a strategic city on the Sea of Azov, but the sprawling steelworks remains in the hands of Ukrainian fighters. Defense Ministry spokesman Alexander Motsyanak gave few details, and it was not clear whether Russian forces had launched a new operation at Azovstal. Reuters could not verify the situation either. It's very hard to verify situations right now. What the heck? There we go. My bad. I think my camera froze for a second. So, the enemy continues to blockade our units in the area of the Azovstal factory and is continuing storming operations with the support of tank and artillery fire, he told in an online briefing, raising the prospect of Russia stepping up its assault in the steelworks further. He said, quote, the possibility of a renewal of its bombardment from Tu-22 M3 bombers is not excluded. Russia has previously denied assertions by Ukrainian officials that it has tried to storm the steelworks. Russian President Vladimir Putin said on April 21st that it was not necessary to storm the steelworks, but called for Russian forces to blockade the area so not even a fly could get through. Ukrainian officials said days later that Russia had started an assault on the Azovstal. Ukraine has said all women, children, and elderly civilians that were also in Azovstal have now left. Russia has said the evacuation of civilians from the plant is complete. So Russia had said, we're not going to storm this plant. We're going to starve them out. And as soon as all the civilians have left, or at least all the reported civilians have left, now the assault has begun. All right. And before we get into our videos now of the day, let's get an update from John Sweeney and his Kyiv update. He's going to be leaving Kyiv for about a month. I wonder if we're going to see him back in June. But here's his updates from day 75. If you've missed them to this point, spam the red or the orange hats in the chat. John Sweeney on Twitter.
Kyiv Diary, day 75. The electricity is still on. The internet is still on. There are no Russian tanks underneath the fraternal arch of friendship here in Kyiv. And I'm still wearing my lucky orange hat. Tomorrow, I leave Kyiv. I'm slowly going home to London. I'm seeing my kids, my beautiful granddaughter, chilling out for a bit. I'll be back in June. My podcast, Taking on Putin, is still up. And this Thursday or Friday, you'll be able to hear episode 7, where I talk about and reminisce the good times and the bad times I've had here in Kyiv since before the start of the war, since February the 14th. In a nutshell, being here has been an honor. The Ukrainian people, the Ukrainian army has taught me something about free speech. Free speech does not come free. Democracy must be defended. But boy, have the Ukrainians done that. And then the other side of the story, Vladimir Putin. I mean, I've been tracking this man for 22 years, since I first saw evidence of war crimes in Chechnya. And I think there are many people in the West who should bow their heads in shame, because it was obvious from September 99 that Vladimir Putin was a serial killer. And people looked away and took Moscow gold. And the people who paid the price for that, I mean, I've seen them. TV tower, the mother and child being taken away by the people from the morgue. And Borodanka, a block of flats blown to pieces by a Russian missile. 30, 40 bodies trapped inside. In Bucha, the man, so many dead bodies, but the ones I remember, the man shot in the back of the head, the man shot the hole in his face. The reckoning will be paid in Moscow, and one day Putin will fall. Love from Kyiv.
If you guys are looking for if you're a member of the channel and you're looking for our emojis, you just got to click the smiley face next to the chat. So like where you go to type, there's a little smiley face, and you click that and you'll see our emojis. Here's the next one, day 75 update. Once again, I send a message to Vladimir Putin.
Kyiv Diary, day 75 of Vladimir Putin's war update. You recognize that noise. It's Vladimir Putin's lullaby. I'm leaving Kyiv tomorrow, but one more time, just for the master of the Kremlin gets this simple message. Vladimir Putin, do fuck off. Love from Kyiv.
With the air raid sirens going off. Then here's his last one that he posted, Kyiv Diary Day 75.
So this is Vlad and I, and we're going, or actually I'm going back to London, wherever that is, and listen to that, it's fucking Vladimir Putin's lullaby. Here's a simple message to Vladimir Putin. Do fuck off.
Nice. All right, that's from John. And then the other clip that's came out from today is the the Russian ambassador to Poland getting doused with red paint after laying roses on the Soviet memorial in Poland. You can watch this here. He said, I am proud of my country and my president.
Я myślę, że nie musieli oni przyjeżdżać dzisiaj do
I think that they did not have to come today and put flowers at the monument.
Położyć kwiaty do tego pamiętnika.
Because they are aggressors in Ukraine.
To po prostu agresja Ukrainy. Oni nie mogą to robić.
They can't do this.
I te ludzie, co wyszli Ukraińcy.
Ukrainians are with me today. A man from Belarus is with us.
I ze mną teraz znajduje się mężczyzna z Białorusi i wszystkie my chcemy, żeby było.
We all want there to be no more war.
Żeby po prostu nie było więcej wojny.
See them getting a couple getting hit at the end there. They sound like they're playing the Bayraktar song. Are they playing the Bayraktar song at the end? Hold on. They were. I can hear it. I just noticed that for the first time. They're playing the Bayraktar song in the background. That's funny. That's good times. They're playing the Bayraktar song as they're leaving. I just noticed that. Damn. All right, that is the Russian ambassador to Poland. Got doused with paint on their victory day today. All right, let's continue on with more clips that are sent to our Discord server. Again, thank you to everybody sharing video, helping us source all of this news and piece together the day-to-day updates. This is from the BBC. Full credit to the BBC for this report on the Donbas.
The BBC's
Andrew. This is to the east. So here's the map. We've been looking at our own map, but this all takes place in the Donbas region.
Harding has sent us this report from eastern Ukraine, and a warning: it contains pictures you may find distressing.
A quiet village in the Donbas is saying farewell to Ivan Naduty, killed by a scrap of Russian shrapnel. The 30-year-old builder volunteered to fight the day after Putin's invasion. His wife begged him not to go. Now his father is lost in grief. But something else is stirring in this village and across this region. A burning sense of defiance. He was defending freedom for every one of us, says a village elder, his lip trembling. Glory to our heroes. A lonely Ukrainian warplane thunders overhead. The front lines are just a town away to the north. And a defiant blitz spirit is growing here too, as the bombs fall at random in places like Kramatorsk. Seizing this corner of eastern Ukraine, with its close ties to Russia, was supposed to be an easier task for the Kremlin's blundering army. But the blundering goes on. My shop is hardly a strategic target, says Lilia with contempt. And all this is stiffening the resolve of Ukrainian soldiers. We met this tank unit, holding their ground at a spot where Russia has been trying to break through. They badly need better equipment, but they have other strengths.
We are unity. We fight for our independence from Russia. Russian soldiers fight for money. They don't motivate it as we.
The Russians have been pounding these frontline positions for weeks now, but the big picture here in the Donbas is that the Kremlin's offensive has largely stalled. They've taken hardly any significant towns, and the Ukrainians are making them pay a heavy price for every scrap of land. Further out in no man's land, Ukrainian volunteers collect the abandoned bodies of Russian soldiers. Too many to count, according to Alexei Yukov. I can't see how the Russian army can keep going. It's losing so many men, he says. I don't understand this madness. Back at the village, Ivan's father is still inconsolable. But his widow brings their 5-year-old son to the graveside. He was a stubborn man and a good man, she tells us, sounding resolute now, as the struggle for the Donbas grinds on. Andrew Harding, BBC News, in eastern Ukraine.
Andrew Harding, BBC News report from the Donbas region. All right, now let's continue on. Thank you again, everybody that is sharing these videos to our Discord server. This is the video portion of the feed. We went through articles, and if you guys don't know where the Donbas is, where that video just took place, that is the eastern region of Ukraine. Thank you, Margaret. Welcome to the channel. Thank you again so much. So here's the next clip that we have on the front line with a Ukrainian artillery unit as it targets Russian forces. So we're going to be shifting gears here now, more towards the combat footage of the day and military clips and military related videos. So again, viewer discretion advised during these, trigger warnings. If you need a break from that, because we're going to be getting into a lot of military related clips. We have an amazing veteran community here on our Mercado Media. I'm a veteran myself. I served in the U.S. Army with 4 years active duty, 4 years in the reserves, with 1 tour to the Middle East. Thank you to all of our veterans in the chat. Comment your branch, comment your years of service, and your MOS if you could. All right, let's get into it. On the front line with the Ukrainian artillery unit as it targets Russian forces. Thank you, Carly. Thank you so much for joining the channel.
Long, risky journey. We finally reached a tree line being used for cover by Ukrainian territorials. How are you? The officer in charge. He's handling what's called fire control. He told me he had the target coordinates and was just waiting for the order. Here in eastern Ukraine, spring is in the air, and so is heavy artillery.
Let me turn this down quick. I don't want anybody to...
They are firing 152mm howitzers. They're the biggest guns in the Ukrainian arsenal until Western-supplied 155s join the battle. That shell weighs 53 kilos, just shy of 8.5 stone, and this gun can propel it over 10 miles. Incredibly, back at headquarters, they watch live pictures of the target area. A Ukrainian drone supplies real-time images of the shells finding their mark. And if they're slightly off target, the necessary adjustments can be passed on to the gun crews, and instantly.
That was a direct hit right there. That first vehicle.
Come, guys, come here! Come.
Their salvo complete, they ordered us to hurry into a bunker. So they've rushed all of us into one of the dugouts here because of the danger of incoming Russian artillery. Outgoing fire attracts incoming.
Listen, the other thing too, I never want to hear shit again when I'm out there doing my reporting. What does this do? What does the guy have in the covering the war in his hand right now? Is that a gimbal in his hand? All the damn people giving me shit. You gotta get a real camera. Gotta get a real camera. Dude's out there in the middle of a war zone with a gimbal and a cell phone, doing war reports, giving the real news of what's going on. I don't want to hear shit about my gimbal anymore.
While Russian artillery did not reply, we knew Russian warplanes were about.
That's all it takes.
This is an airstrike, and this is a Ukrainian anti-aircraft missile on the hunt. Eventually, we saw a jet putting out flares and flying low in the hope that Ukrainian missiles would not lock on. We spent 2 days with the territorials. They mightn't be spick and span enough for Red Square, but these volunteers are holding their own against Moscow's finest. All the Ukrainian troops on this crucial front, citizen soldiers and career professionals like these, have managed to stall the Russians and deny them forward momentum. However, since their focus turned to the east, the Russians have done considerable damage here. Ironic to think that not long ago the Kremlin thought it could win over the people who call this home. Surely the history books will record this as an absurd war, a Putin ego trip posing as an invasion. Our host throughout was the unit commander nicknamed the Joker. He showed us this crater, the result of an airstrike, and this large Russian missile shot down by the Ukrainians.
Thank you, Jim.
Everywhere we went with him, his soldiers gave him the warmest of welcomes. Since the war began, he's turned a group of civilians into an effective fighting force.
Wow.
They're already saying he's a legend. Oleg, is it true that you are a legend?
Ну, це в цілому, можливо, і вигадки, але ці вигадки, ну,
It's a flattering fiction that has developed, but yes, we have been getting good results.
підтверджуються дійсно подіями, які відбувалися. Мені приємно було, коли безпосередньо...
One day recently, troops using a vehicle the same as this destroyed 3 enemy tanks.
З допомогою цієї машини на протязі одного дня було знищено 3 ворожих танки противника.
We're on board a Ukrainian armored personnel carrier. It began the war as a Russian one, but hit a landmine. It's among the ubiquitous fleet of Russian tracked vehicles towed off the battlefield by farmers and repaired by Ukrainian army mechanics.
This example of one of the vehicles that the tractors, when it hit a landmine and it was broken down, and then the farmers towed it to a mechanic, and then they fixed it up, repurposed it, and now Ukraine's using it.
They were taking it to a firing ground to make sure it's ready to resume its war. The Ukrainians need more of everything, including lorries, bigger guns and drones. In the meantime, they make do and mend in maintenance yards like this.
Clean.
The 152 howitzers need a lot of attention, not least because the youngest of them is almost 50 years old. These artillery pieces are Soviet era, and one of the problems the Ukrainians are facing is they're running out of ammunition for them. They've already used up the country's stockpiles. More shells are coming in from other Eastern European nations, but those supplies will run out as well. That's why the Ukrainian army desperately wants Western guns and Western ammo. The maintenance depot is overseen by an officer who, before the war, ran a small business making neck pillows. He says his men are outnumbered and outgunned by an enemy.
Now that's a patriotic pillow guy. You want to rally behind an actual patriotic pillow guy? Here you go. Making neck pillows to servicing the military equipment.
The maintenance depot is overseen by an officer who, before the war, ran a small business making neck pillows. He says his men are outnumbered and outgunned by an enemy that's making mistakes.
The communications are compromised. They are using open channels and we are listening to them.
В них на рівні тактичному управління між гарматами в них відкритий зв'язок. Тобто ми їх прослуховуємо.
The commanders are not well trained. Their fighting soldiers are often drunk.
В-третіх, в них дуже часто ведуть бій п'яні люди. П'яні, наркотики.
We have no such problems. Also, they have no motivation.
У нас таких людей немає. Це правда. Тобто мотивація в них дуже низька.
Butchers, bakers and candlestick makers they may have been, but they're now soldiers with a message for the Russians.
From this one, from Ukraine, leave this land.
This is our land, and we'll die defending it. John Irvine, ITV News, Eastern Ukraine.
ITV News, very good report there. All right, very good report. ITV News. Now we're going to be heading over to Funker 350. This video is a couple days ago at this point. If you've already seen it, that's what's up, but we haven't seen it on this channel yet. This is a Ukrainian Kraken SOF team retaking ground in Kharkiv. So we've been reporting of the villages and territories that Ukraine has been retaking in the North Donbas here to the east of Kharkiv. And here is a special forces unit. You're going to see taking back some villages on video. It doesn't have a not safe for work label on it, so I don't think there's anything incredibly graphic in this video. But I'll fast forward if I need to, but they usually label it pretty good. So Ukrainian SOF team taking back villages east of Kharkiv. Got the Tiger vehicle. This is the whole thing. I think we've actually watched bits and pieces of this clip. Thank you, European guy, for subscribing.
Я выключил еще, когда отлетал. Вот сюда.
There's a Z on the car. It looks like a Russian checkpoint. Z on that car. Z on all these cars. Kraken units, because they're special forces. Remember Day is Saturdays. Saturday nights are Remember Days.
Один тут остается.
Я так думаю, что они слева где-то.
Дайте сектор для Браунинга. Где пить?
Мы фиксируемся, ставим позиции. Эти, и сегодня, кстати, и пускай.
They're deep. Firefight here. These are the guys you don't want to see on the battlefield if you're Russia. I don't want to see any of Ukraine right now. These guys are the best.
Заезжай. Хорошо. Не сильно. Главное не кровотечение. Цепануло просто. Легче?
Вроде да, поехали.
So again, this is the Ukrainian Special Forces retaking back villages to the east of Kyiv. Let him surrender. We're putting in work on the east of Kyiv. More and more white space is starting to appear.
Давай сюда.
Gotta save the good boy. Dude's like, can you please like put me down or hold me?
Их тут нет, блокпост слева.
Так.
Портфельчиком, да?
Ага.
Оп.
Об эвакуации в час дня.
Спешимся, да?
Look at this, like a stockpile that they got here now that they're looking at. Russian munition stockpile, just in like someone's garage. It's like somebody's driveway. Look, it looks like a nice backyard. They got a garden and Russian military jackets and shit. They just took people's. Russian military just took people's houses.
Парни, смотрите, дом слева.
Забирай.
А ты туда пошел, пошаребиться?
Подождите, пацаны, блядь, не толпите. Это видео, как ты воруешь, блядь. Обворовываешь русский народ.
КамАЗик. Целый БКшечки.
Надо воровать у русских.
Another facility. Got MREs in the background. MREs, munitions. Those look like those grenade launchers that they use. Those junk grenade launchers that look terrible. 50 cal.
Жили мирно, все, спокойно жили, мирно, работали, работа была, все было. Дети поразъезжались, все. Что они наделали, это вообще.
Ну это вообще святого ничего нет. Фашисты.
Спасибо, здорово. Спасибо.
I've
never seen this clip on its own here.
Я не могу, я живу, я живу.
Да, русские даже по-русски писать не умеют.
Только не размахивай.
Yo, couch. What a video. What a video that was. That was Ukrainian special forces liberating villages to the east of Kharkiv. What a video that was. Here's a Russian Ka-52 conducts long-range air-to-air, ground-to-air attacks. Is this the guy that records with a cell phone while he's flying? An ad. Alright. Russian Ka-52 long-range air-to-ground attacks. You gotta put the nose in the air to get further distance with those missiles. The whole paneling's shaking. We learned those Ka-52s aren't as intense as they look either. Operator Starsky broke one of those things down. Here's another video clip that was sent to us. Thank you so much. From the Sun. Ukrainian forces take out Russian targets with howitzer units.
Залпом 333.
Зараз українські артилеристи, ось на фоні бойова машина 2С1 наносить вогневе ураження по скупченню російських військ. Як виявили, там і ціль, де проживає піхота, і скупчення техніки. І наразі українські військові намагаються здати удар.
Howitzer battles on the east sent to us too here now. What's this here? From Izium to Sloviansk, Russian columns were stopped before the greatest battle of Donbas. We're gonna have to tune into this too here. We'll watch that. Yeah, we can watch it now actually. From Izium to Sloviansk, where Russian columns were stopped before the greatest battle for Donbas. I haven't seen this video. I'll show you where Izium is. That battle is still ongoing. There's been more shellings around Izium, Ukrainian shellings on Russian targets. We'll be getting into those videos next from Rob Lee. But here's Izium on our war map. North of Kramatorsk and Sloviansk. We have an amazing Discord community. Join our Discord server if you haven't.
Ми в селі Грушеваха. Тут до Ізюма і до позиції російських військ менше 30 кілометрів, але вони були ще ближче. Українські військові їх відтіснили на попередні позиції. Але зараз всі очікують великого наступу на Донбас, і що Ізюмський район і саме оці села можуть стати тими, на які будуть наступати російські військові, щоб замкнути українські сили оборони в Донецькій, Луганській області. І росіяни мають йти з півдня Донецької області, інші от саме звідси, з Ізюма, з Харківської області, з Ізюмського району.
Це били просто по центру села.
Що це за село?
Це село Грушеваха. Це старостат. Це був магазин. Справа від нас школа. Це клуб, не вікон, не дверей, знутрі там все побито. Що таке село? Село – це інфраструктура, де збирається. Це магазин, це старостат, це ФАП, це клуб, це школа, це дитячий садочок, де все розбите повністю. Це знешкодження сел, це убите життя в селі. Задача, мені кажеться, тільки така. Щоб село зникло, ціль, я бачу їхню тільки таку. Є ранені, є загиблі. В цьому селі також є.
Я питаю пана мера, типу, на кого кури лишили? Бо ж ви...
Я сказав, вони тут.
А ви є, ви повернулися.
Да.
Нікуди ми не тікали, бо якось треба жити.
Ви знаєте...
Нас не могли никак добить. Не то, что нас постоянно стреляли. Не знаю, за дом-то может рядом сельсовет. Постоянно стреляли. Мы до такой степени привыкли уже, что вот семья большая, к нам прибежали еще родственники. Мы делали пельмени на весь наш колхоз. Окно выбило. Вот мы делаем пельмени, окно выбило. Мы закрываем клеенкой стол с пельменями. Ждем, пока перестанет бомбить, и дальше лепим. Потом друг другу рассказываем, мы поверить не можем, что это мы сделали. Не то, что бомбит, ну и что, стекла летят, накрыли. Кушать надо. Як бомба падала, вот около магазина. У меня вот там дерево, оно сейчас прямо стоит. Голубая, можжевельник голубой.
They got hit while they were making dinner, and then just ate afterwards, after the shell hit.
Вчера подошла к нему, оно было сухое, но черное, и маленькие иголочки так чуть-чуть. Кажу, жить хочешь, давай по добру, живи дальше. Цвіти люблю.
А де ви живете зараз? Ну тут же жити неможливо. Теж тут.
Вона далі там, от там біля мосту, їх теж бомбила.
Ну, уціліли.
Бомбила, ну в хаті можна жити.
Хоч хата вціліла, да, більш-менш.
Предлагали вчера уехать, эвакуироваться дальше туда. Ну что я без них поеду? Они тут не хотят дома. Это все наше, драгоценности.
Це все з вашого двору, да?
Да, все наше.
Да, то все в двір, скільки накидали з собаки.
Последняя бомба была так вот, в магазин упала, она нас вымела, эта бомба. Не то, что мы были в подвале, но пришли, дома нет, все.
When we came back, there was no house left.
Ну, це чуєте, це вибухи, це в нашому селі. Тут відбувається. Це все, що залишилось від мосту. Це понтонна машина, яка не заганяли навести понтони. Ну, бачите, де вона оказалась.
А як так вийшло?
Її
підстрелили, так?
Так, її збили, он, Z, дивіться. Бачите, Z. Ну, оце не перше, тут отримали по зубах і добре. Бачите, тут великий канал і міст. Міст був підірваний і їх зупинили, не доходя до каналу.
Потім Петрівське було звільнено.
Потім Петрівське було звільнено, так.
They likely blew that bridge while that truck was driving across. Sabotage. I mean, dudes over here, you got tennis shoes on.
Зараз вони
These are civilians. This is like the territorial defense.
Зараз там ВСУ наші стоять. Вони вернулися на Балаклію, пішли на Ізюм, і тепер основний удар вони готують з Ізюма на Слов'янськ. Ну от якраз у нас тут вузька зона, де можна стримувати. Да.
Тобто будете удар приймати на себе?
Да, будемо удар приймати на себе.
Ясно. Ну, і там...
Нам треба прикрити хлопців на Донбасі.
Oh. Dad needs a bigger helmet and strap it. Well, listen, the fact that, I mean, look at how well trained they were, and it's day 75 and they're this trained up already, or at least they look the part. They're missing some equipment that they need.
Ну, да.
Просто нам розповідали, що там і вчора...
It's because the biggest difference is they have something to fight for. Russian soldiers don't have anything to fight for. They're getting a paycheck. It's like they've been emphasizing that. The Russians are paid. It's a job. They don't even want to be there. They're soldiers. There's no motivation. They don't have fuel. They don't have food. They don't even know why they're there. They're forced to be there. If they don't fight, they get killed or sent to the gulag, or their family gets killed or taken away. They have to fight. Otherwise, they lose their country. It's just simple as that. They will always have more motivation.
Але Росія велика страна, за розмірами я маю на увазі. Тому техніки в неї багато, вони її тут не рахують і сунуть її сюди, майже як на полігоні. Їдуть і їдуть. Втрати йдуть з обох боків. Велика війна йде, війна артилерії, війна важкого військового обладнання. Ми зможемо їх втримати, але нам потрібна важка зброя. Ну, всі ми сюди прийшли, я, мої товариші, прийшли для того, щоб зупинити їх. Зупинити і це місто, яке має зупинити їх для просування на весь Донбас.
Wow. Sometimes it takes just a force like that. So they stopped that bridge. They blew up the bridge and stopped some of the advance from getting even worse. Thank you for the $4.99 super chat.
Даю крупу, муку, олію.
Муку и олію можна получить?
Конечно, можно. Пакетики на муку и на крупу. У нас проблема пакетів немає. Если есть у вас пакеты, то желательно свои, чтобы у нас проблема. Не де в магазинах нема пакетів.
Ви отримали? Да.
Чи не надо? Надо.
У вас немає?
Так, надо розкидати.
Все?
Да.
Ось я взяла муку, крупу вже віднесла.
Будете хліб пекти чи що?
Та хоч коржичок. 2 дочки, 2 внучати. Так що їсти просять. Ні, вони тутешні, ну і щоб гуртом нам якось легше прожити.
Ага, я зрозуміла.
Та куди виїжджати? Уже будемо якось Богу молитися. З Божою допомогою, думаємо, якось проживемо.
А скільки вашим внукам?
6,5. Маленькі. Що робити? Я не знаю. І кожен день трясемося, серце хватає. Куди по погрібам ховатися чи куди.
Он сидю в хаті і не треба нікуди ховатися. Хай вони нас бояться, а не ми їх повинні боятися.
Так то воно так.
А ви відкіля? Вони Барвінівська?
А чи я? Барвінівська.
Барвінівська. Ну щось ви...
Їй не подобається, що я багато виступаю.
He basically said you seem sus. You seem sus.
Ну, а взагалі, як життя, скажіть, тут в Ринку?
Та як?
Що, наступають чи ні?
Наступають. А ми обороняємося. Їдемо
defending
людей,
ourselves.
спасаємо.
Ну, а самі не плануєте виїжджати? Ні? Буде тут до останнього?
Look at
Пенсіонери
his sweatshirt,
остаються.
or sweater.
Ну я ж не пенсіонер. І молодіж теж остається. Завтра на сутки. Як бросати рідний город? Російський корабль, пішов нахуй!
Sloviansk welcomes you.
Місто Барвінкове, в якому ми щойно були, знаходиться на дорозі з Харківської області до Донецької. Це дорога до Донецького Слов'янська. Слов'янська, який вже був захоплений проросійськими військами у 2014 році, у квітні 2014 року, і був звільнений у липні 2014 року. Зараз у Донецькому Слов'янську практично порожні. Останні дні звідси евакуйовували людей, і це ще продовжується. Люди продовжують виїжджати залізницею. Те саме відбувається і в Донецькому Краматорську. Всі чекають цієї вирішальної битви на Донбасі, і, можливо, ця битва і вирішить весь результат цієї війни.
Wow. That was a good report there. Thank you for sharing that to the server. Now let's get into Rob Lee's war footage from the day and his combat clips that we might have missed from the Funker 350 and any updates. Let's go through it here. Video of a Ukrainian soldier firing an NLAW at a target. Ukrainian soldier firing an NLAW at a target.
Бля, мене не в'їбе вона ззаді. А, братан? Мене не в'їбе ззаді. В'їбе? Щас, підожди. Підожди.
See the guy in the... We had to give some space.
Да, давай.
God dang, boy.
Нахуй.
Maybe jump a little bit. I wasn't ready. I was waiting for it. I was like, when is he gonna get shot? Damn. I can't see exactly where it is before, unless it's this white speck here. Whatever it is, it's not there anymore.
Уходим, брат.
Whatever it is, it's not there. It's gone now.
Нахуй. Уходим, брат.
Video of Ukrainian soldier firing an NLAW. Video of a low-flying Ukrainian Mi-24 helicopter.
Красавчики відпрацювали. Роз'їбашили підарасиків, блядь, і уходять. Красавці.
That is very low. Holy cow.
Умнічки.
Right off the ground.
Гарно пішов. Оце гарно.
Ага, другий он ззаді.
А ось другий красавчик іде.
Got two of them.
Красави.
Stop the cap, exhale. Stop the cap. Sorry, Roman's got a great video to end the
Наші
stream.
красавчики відпрацювали.
Talks about how the Russian propaganda influences people on each side of the aisle. Video of artillery strikes on Russian positions and equipment, including trucks, BMPs, and other armored vehicles by Ukraine's 63rd Mechanized Brigade. the facility in the top left. There's a better video, a better view of it. So they got the editing on here is incredible. Let's go back now. So one more time, this is the video of artillery strikes on Russia positions and equipment, including trucks, BMPs, and other armored vehicles. I'm wondering if we got a geolocation. Where is this? Can't find the 63rd. I don't see a geolocation yet. They usually geolocate a day later now. That geolocation Twitter account that will help us find. You said the emotions don't match? Not to Ukrainians. Ukrainians, they're literally holding raves in the bomb shelter in Kyiv and concerts. YouTube. They all have their own type of videos, but they have different vibes with them. So lots of, if anything, today on Victory Day in Ukraine was lots of victories or small victories for Ukraine between strikes on crucial Russian equipment near Izium, which we're gonna get to, and then this was outside of, I don't know where this was. I'm assuming this is Izium if it's around the same region as we're gonna get to, but it doesn't give a specific location. And then east of Kharkiv, I mean, we got villages and more white space to the east of Kharkiv. So, if anything, Victory Day was a small day of small victories for Ukraine today. Here it is. Is this the same? A video of the aftermath of an artillery strike by Ukraine's 81st Air Mobile Brigade. Video shows a burnt-out MTLB and a BTR that was damaged after ammunition exploded. I don't think this was that. This wasn't the facility. We're going to get to it, though. All right, one more time. This is aftermath of an artillery strike by Ukraine's 81st Air Mobile Brigade. God dang, they got that. They got the, oh my goodness. Hold on. No. How did the other one, was it the BMP went unscathed? Or BTR? That was a big explosion next to it. Start from here. Goodness. They blew up that whole, there was the house that blew up next to the vehicle. I thought it was something next to the vehicle. But it's this structure here. In the back corner of it. In the back of it. Might not even be the house then, actually. It might be behind the house too. No, it's behind the house. It's the structure behind this. It's not this. What is that though? It's already on fire. Yeah, that's definitely behind. Big ammo dump, dude. What a big explosion that was. Alright, let's continue on. Wow. A captured Russian Tiger M vehicle painted in Ukrainian camouflage. I'm seeing more and more of these Ukrainian Tiger M's now. Ukrainian farmer with a captured Russian MTLB. Tractors in the chat. Hell no, man. These never get old. It just looks silly. That's what it is. But it's so real. I mean, without this happening, lots of these Russian vehicles wouldn't be repurposed into Ukrainian vehicles now. So as funny as this is a very crucial piece of this war too, which is just all ironic. It's funny and needed at the same time. Without this, it's just... Oh my god, dude. Oh no. It's like squeaking and sounds like shit too. It's just good. A good video. Captured Russian T-72B3. There's another captured T-72. There's no cope equipment on here. We saw the fires in Odessa. Here's Russian paratroopers from the 45th Spetsnaz. This was before the big helicopter battle, which will likely be a documentary someday. There's like going to be a big movie or something. That was one of the big battles early in the invasion, was the Gostomel helicopter battle. Photo from Ukraine's 79th Air Assault Brigade showing a destroyed Russian Tiger M. That's a destroyed Tiger M MRAP. You got a video here reportedly showing a Russian Su-25 attack aircraft flying on targets in Popasna. Russian helicopter pilot. And from this video, I assume this is why they're getting shot down, because they're taking videos while they're flying. This is Popasna. It's like it's central between Luhansk, northeast of Luhansk and northeast of Donetsk and northwest of Luhansk. It's like right between both cities north. Rob from Speak the Truth calls it Pop Santa every time, for some reason. This isn't Odessa. This is the Donbas. We're to the east now. The other thing that I've learned just covering this war is how much misinformation relies upon just not knowing geography. Like, if people understood distances and geography more, that would definitely help correct a lot of misinformation and poor information. So let's continue. Video of a captured Russian T-80BV tank.
Якщо ви сюди зайдете, ви звідси вже ніколи не вийдете.
Yeah, it sounded like that beat was gonna be a hit. Is that a pillow? What was that? Hold on. Or is that the seat on the outside? Lots of wood. Seat on the outside. Yep. A T-80 tank. Captured Russian T-72B3. Is that and then a BTR-82? That's the BTR. I mean, those videos are tough to see anything. Video from Ukraine's 25th Air Assault Brigade reportedly showing a Javelin ATGM strike on a Russian tank. Russian tank here. Never mind. I need that song. Reportedly, the first video of U.S. or of the Ukrainian forces using the M777 howitzers, adding to the World War I remastered firefight in the Donbas with all these howitzers, dude. Listen, it's world like they use carrier pigeons and shit in World War I. They're using drones now. You don't need carrier pigeons anymore. Maybe they are using carrier pigeons. That'd be interesting. Russia's using dolphins, so. Oh, awesome, KM. Thank you. Yeah, I like to try to make my stream fluid. I used to do that. My stream used to be repetitive because I tried to fill 6 hours worth of time, but now I just cover what we have for the day and then leave it at that. But yeah, I've learned. It's definitely been a learning process over 75 days. Every creator is different. Every creator provides something unique. Another video of Ukrainian UAVs dropping munitions on a Russian tank and a BMP-3. That one too. Ukrainian UAVs dropping munitions on a Russian tank. Video from Ukraine. See, just lots of dubs for Ukraine today. They were hitting lots of ammunition depots, equipment depots, recapturing villages, recapturing territory. So lots of wins for Ukraine on Victory Day, if anything, today. Video from Ukraine's 79th Air Assault Brigade of artillery strikes on Russian forces in the south. Looks like a Tiger and possibly Rice vehicles were destroyed. We got like a playlist going. We need that one more time. As it's not Paramount, as long as it's not a Paramount thing, you're okay. All right. Little cure right there. The cure. This is now, we're going into a video of Wagner private military contractors in Popasna, filmed by Yevgeny Prigozhin's RIA fan. There's 6 things of that. We already watched the other ones, the other videos, on the previous streams. Wagner private military contractors in Popasna. This is like equivalent to like Blackwater. This isn't a good unit.
Районной администрации в городе Попасна. На сегодняшний день сообщается о том, что город полностью перешел под контроль войск Российской Федерации. Такая вот вороночка тут рядом.
Look at the crater. The one thing these videos give you, though, is an idea of what the area looks like. What I've seen so far, I don't know the Wagner videos, because again, every unit's got videos. If it's Russian or if it's Ukrainian, they all have their own videos that they put out. And the Wagner ones, I haven't really seen egregiously fake videos afterwards. Likely because that is like the spearhead of their military, is this private contracted military group. That's like the spearhead of Russia's military, or like their best unit. In terms of when you're looking at, I think we're going to see an example next of, or just Russian soldiers and how their videos look, and it's like just military happenings, and then they sell it to their people. But that's a little different. The Wagner videos at least seem a little more genuine. They haven't been putting out too many. That could be it too. And they were in front of the administrative building, so there is evidence of them making moves. Whereas, again, just the regular Russian soldiers are just making RT videos in the same apartment area with the Chechens doing TikToks. So a little different.
Любой объект брать сложно, ну, как бы прошли без потерь, взяли, то есть была задача взять. Ну, тем более такой объект был особенный, то есть это как бы символ власти был такой.
Another thing to notice too is the gold chain on dude's right hand, or the gold, got some jewelry on. Thank you, Darren. Welcome to the Bite Size. You can see it really good there. So again, this is the private military contractors, the Wagner group.
Я правильно понимаю, что вот теперь, когда вы здесь закрепились, после того, как вы взяли уже здания, основные объекты, сюда зайдут ополченцы и остальные министерские войска и будут уже держать здесь.
Да, конечно, эта территория будет наполняться, это здание будет, ну, возможно, оно будет в дальнейшем опять функционировать, его восстановят. То есть мы выбрали специально его. Была задача просто, чтобы оно было целое, мы его пытались сохранить. И в дальнейшем оно будет работать.
So another thing too, if you guys are interested in non-military or non-Ukraine war streams, I have a gaming channel, if you're interested, called Snack Squad Gaming. It's pinned in the chat. And it's also on the homepage. We're playing just to talk about private military companies, we're playing a game franchise called Metal Gear Solid. And they tackle that game franchise goes into those dialogues and in the game, and talks about private military contractors and how that could possibly be a future, what a future like that would look like. So very good video game franchise if you're interested. I stream that on Fridays and Sundays if you're interested. So here's an example. This is the one I was looking for. Members of the Black Sea Fleet's 810th Naval Infantry Brigade near Azovstal. So a few things. One, this license plate. All right, so this, again, now that was the Wagner group. This is now the Black Sea Fleet Russian soldiers. Okay, these are actual Russian soldiers. Right away, you see here is a European Union Germany license plate. Don't know how they got that, but they put a Germany European Union license plate on this vehicle. I don't know how that got there outside the Azovstal plant, but it did. They got the Tenet music going. I got the intense music, the upbeat, like get your blood pressure going music going. Nothing happens in this video at all, but it looks like an intense, like this is the same type of videos that you see in Mariupol. They do the same shit. What's up, Daniel? How you doing? It's like military imagery. Walking through the rubble. Pointing your weapon. Like there's nothing there. Like this is junk. Okay, there's more imagery right there that they use. All of these videos look similar. These type. They're like B-roll looking videos. See, like that.
Когда если не захотят пойти в прорыв. Поэтому мы их блокировали почти вокруг всего завода.
А были попытки?
Попыток не было, поэтому мы постоянно на готове сидим. Чтобы нам говорят, что попытка будет, ждем никого.
So from what I've gathered from these types of Mill Chronicles videos from that RT uses and all of these, like a battle did happen there. But then they go in afterwards and then make little videos like these where there's like soldiers walking through, or they're actually some of them they're actually engaging buildings and shit, but they never get fired back upon. There's never return fire. There's never an enemy in the videos. It's just Russia like destroying things or engaging things on their own. The few videos that you have seen, like engagements, you see Russians get taken out, and those don't make the RT videos. There's like secondhand sources that you've watched them through. It's a Ukrainian E-95M aerial target. This is a distraction drone, from what I've gathered. There's no purpose to this drone. It's not used for surveillance. There's no weapons capabilities on this drone at all, and it's painted bright red. So, likely a distraction drone, and then once you see the anti-air used to take that thing out, then their real drones can locate where the anti-air is and take it out. Look, we watched a video this afternoon on that drone. Video of a Russian tank striking 2 anti-tank mines. So you're going to see a Russian tank drive over 2 mines. It survives the first one, but then the second one, not so much. There's the first one. The second one gets it. It was gonna be. It would have made it if it didn't back up another. It literally drove over the second one. The first one didn't blow it up, surprisingly. Came out unscathed. The second one though, double tap. Someone watched Zombieland and planted these landmines. Ooh, got past the first one, but not the second one. Gotta be quicker than that. Gotta be quicker than that. So those 2 landmines taking out a Russian tank. A few more. Here's some cope armor. What vehicle is this? On the Cam AZ truck. There's some cope armor. And what's funny is earlier this afternoon, I was wondering, like, what are these X's on the paneling here on the windows or on the windshield? Dead. The paneling comes from MTLBs. The hatch, or like the top panel, which I can't imagine is very thick. I can't imagine this is this paneling here is a very thick piece of paneling. But that's where they cut those in half. it appears, and take off all the crap on top, and then weld it to the weld it here. Autobots, I'm dead. The Nato, more like Autobots. Got the damn, look at these cope cages, dude. Look at the bullets going right through them. Cope cage unscathed, though. They have he has a whole timeline full of these things. Look at this one. That one's got some, what are these? It's got an improvised bumper. Made for Mad Max. If anything, the Russian military's got enough to handle the apocalypse. These vehicles. Look at this one. Everything except for their improvised armor got destroyed. The wood logs, look at that mangled. Sheet armor still holding strong though. Sheet armor's holding in. Let's go back even further. You got wood. You got wood reinforcing the steel, dude. There's some 2x4s in there. My favorite is the one coming up, and I believe they use this one. This one's the most epic though. This one right here, dude. This guy. Why do I feel like, and if he lived in the United States, he'd have like a jacked up truck with like monster truck tires on it, with like 10 American flags. Look at this one though. Look, he's so proud. They got a damn. How did they get that up there, dude? How did they get that up there? Do they have forklifts? I don't think so. You can't see out the window. Look at that. Yeah, all you got is some slits, and then through the slits, you got to look right through the vent. He's so proud of it though. Him and his cope truck. I wonder if that's used up there. Do you think this thing's used? This is like a boss that you would find in a PlayStation video game. What are those old car combat games? Twisted Metal? This is the boss that you fight. And then as you shoot, the armor falls off the doors. Yeah, they have a whole thread full of these things. Oh my goodness. Oh, here you go. Look at that. Got the wood logs strat. You got the vent strat and the wood logs strat, it looks like. This one didn't make it because they don't know how to drive, apparently. I don't think the reactive armor assisted at all. What is that? Oh my god. What's going on with this one? What did they put the reactive armor on the outside of wood? Are these reactive armor panels on the outside of the wood? What in the fuck, dude? Oh my god. Look at this one, dude. Here's some donuts. Can't open your door because it's sealed because of the paneling that they put over here. Look at this random shit. What do they put on this? This is on the, well, they got random pieces of, I don't even know what that is. That's different. Oh, here you go. Here's a, what do they got? Looks like a gate on the front of this one. This dude's giving up free everything to this whole convoy. He's all about it. At least they're able to open their door. They got the wood and then another wood piece. Looks like a looks like a cabinet door. This guy's going to every truck. He's so excited. There's another, this one's full of sheet paneling. They put paneling over the fuel, over the fuel tank. And then like where their soldiers are sitting. Lincoln Log Army. Yo, there is a video game where look, you can build these things, I think. What's the name? What's the game called? What is that? Oh. This one's got a... They must be, dude, they're just getting hammered and then coming up with ideas, honestly. This has got to be what it is. Like, I'm just trying to tap into the soldier's mind here. They're getting hammered on vodka and then just coming up with the best, what does that say, booba? They're finding just random things and throwing them on the... Cross out, thank you. That's the game, cross out. I was trying to think of it earlier, too. Here. Based on Russian military vehicles. Yeah, this is the game I was thinking of. Yeah, where you just make stupid vehicles. Yeah, there you go. There's an example of a... Actually, that's better than the Russian vehicles, because that would actually be effective. You just put random parts on vehicles and you make a car and compete with it. That's what this looks like to me. What is going on with this one? So, all right. So this is all right. They have, this is a vest, all right? They have the Kevlar the vest that you wear, and they have it up against the door upside down. Arguably might be the most effective thing that they have for armor, though. But that's what's funny. Oh my god, dude. They literally, they have the vest up against the window. Dude still got his arm hanging out though. Sick. The cope window. That might be the best. That might be the best piece of armor that they've had over there though. Put paneling on their Tiger M's. Smart. Thinking outside the box. They did some good They did extra paneling work on this one. At least they painted it all green, or that. They painted it that army green. You know you want one. I have one. I have one. I have two of those in my tough box. Oh wow, dude. Fucking minion here. Look at this thing. That's just a regular tube transport truck that they just totally put a bunch of paneling all over it. Wow. I've seen this picture. He's got the bicycle helmet on, the bike helmet. Dude, there's no... Playing too much PUBG. Russian soldiers are playing too much PUBG, man. Oh my god. Hell no, dude. I would just tell them, Gulag. Just send me to the Gulag. I'll take my chances. I've seen Batman. I saw him escape. Hell nah. So good. Man. I still can't. This is what we were looking at, though, to start this whole... Looking at cope armor. That they're using the paneling from this... MTLB for the newest picture that just came out on their Cam AZ truck. Oh yeah, I just Gulag. I'd sign my name, Gulag. I'm not going. Captured BMP-3 in service with Ukraine. This is training. This is training. I'm starting to think this is like a doctrine move, because I saw a video of Russian soldiers laying underneath a tank as it drove over them as part of their training. So that's a training video. A damaged Russian T-72 B3. This one's the good one. This is the one I was looking for. Look at this. Did you notice anything? Did you notice anything? Did anything stand out to you right away for their armor? Really quick, I'm gonna play it back without saying anything, and let me know if you notice anything real quick. All right, here we go.
Скатился несчастный.
You didn't notice it? You didn't notice what? Yeah, they got camouflage on it. All right, here we go. All right, I'm gonna go back a little bit. Just look at the armor. Look at what they got for the armor. Are you seeing it yet? How about now? How about now? Are you seeing the armor that they have right behind the cage? They're using their MRE cardboard, dude. They got their MRE cardboard out there straight up as like the exterior defense. Likely put, I'm sure, like, oh man, I'm trying to make it make sense. I'm in my head like they had to have put sand in them, but I don't even know if they did that. I think they put sand in them at least, or tried. 2-ply. I'm not like, hey, I'm not making this video up. I noticed that right away. They have a listen. Honestly, this looks like they just took a box of MREs and put it there. It's still in the box. All these MREs are still in the box. What if there's still MREs, 2015 MREs? Not filled with sand, just the as is. Just throw it on the outside, brother. Oh my god. Dead. Video of soldiers from Ukraine's 30th Mechanized Brigade striking a Russian tank with a Javelin ATGM. So if you missed that, the strike is on the lower, look down here. All right. Center your screen in the bottom portion, you'll see the strike if you missed it. All right, a couple more because these are now from the 8th, so these are starting to become a day old now, but they had really good. They put out like Ukraine had lots of small victories yesterday. But again, small victories can add up to a larger one if they keep going like this. Ukrainian T-72 pulling a captured Russian T-80 BV. So again, this is a T-72. It's painted Ukraine colors. It's got the Ukrainian flag on it. If it's painted, it was likely actually, no, that might be an actual Ukrainian T-72. The paneling's color's different, but then they're dragging a Russian T-80. Ukraine has T-72s as well, not just repurposed ones that they've got from Russia. All right, then here is the. We'll end here with for the combat footage. A video showing Ukrainian artillery strikes on a Russian base in Zabavny in the Kharkiv Oblast. This is near Izium. I'll show you guys on the map where this is at. All right, it's going to be where the red marker is on. Oh. That didn't do anything. There we go. Okay, just north of Izium. Here's Sloviansk, here's Izium, and then here is Zabavny, where Russians had like a couple cobs set up, and they had military equipment, military vehicles, ammunition. They had a bunch of stuff here, and Ukraine found it. Ukrainian strikes on it. So, what do you envision endgame being for this war? I can't see Russia accepting defeat, but how else does it end? Man, I don't want to scare people on how I think it's going to go. I don't think it's going to end nuclear, but I'm scared in terms of the influence over people that are susceptible to Russian propaganda. And just in this war alone, it's already shown its face, and it's scared the shit out of me. And they're going to use that. And so the war, this is going to affect or it is already affecting the world and in other places. But like, yo, the next upcoming election in the United States is going to be big, huge one. Russia's influence it reaches lots of places, and it's scary. Battle here, though, if you want my just between Ukraine and Russia, it's a stalemate at this point. Russia's battling a war of attrition. Ukraine's holding them, and now they're actually gaining back. Ukraine's gaining back the territory in the North Donbas that Russia had taken from the invasion. I think they're going to go back into Russia's going to go back into Crimea, back into Luhansk and Donbas, and then just keep pounding propaganda from so they've already been pounding propaganda from 2014 to now, and now they have a whole fresh batch of propaganda it's already been showing its face since the invasion started, and people that have been believing in the Russian narrative and propaganda since day one. And it's been in the background, but when elections start coming back around, they're going to start coming to the forefront, and they're going to show Speaking of that, that's actually a good bridge to the last video of the day from Roman. That's a very good bridge. You couldn't have planned that any better. Russian propaganda is smarter than you think. And if you guys remember, again, I've covered many, if you will, left-leaning events or happenings, and a lot of people that were involved in like the protests tuned out of this war. They were falling for the same narrative as like super far right individuals in the United States were. And it was blowing my mind. I was reading my timeline, and just people from like the protests that were just like, yeah, and yes, this is their words, like, yeah, Ukraine deserves this because of the Nazis in Ukraine. I was like, what are y'all doing? Like, you're eating up what Russia's telling you. And Roman here explains exactly how. And it blew my mind. I was like, oh my God, dude, they really are affecting the United States on two fronts here. All right. So this is Roman. We've been watching his videos. He's a great content creator. Definitely go support. NFKRZ is the name of his channel. He's a very good content creator. Does great job. And he's been providing supplemental content explaining what's going on in Russia from a Russian perspective. All right. Here we go. Here's straight from Roman.
When most people look at propaganda coming from a certain country, it's very easy to write it off as very stupid and one-sided and very easy to see through. But the thing is that a lot of the times that is not really the case. Take Russian propaganda, for example. Not only are a lot of people appalled by it, but it seems like most people actually just make fun of it. And not only people in the West do this, but also people in Russia as well. But one thing you need to realize is that Russian propaganda is way better than you think it is. First of all, it is of course very effective on the territory of Russia, when we talk about Russian news, etc. So that makes sense, but Russian propaganda doesn't stop there, right? So we also have Russian propaganda that's aimed at Western viewers. Take RT, known as Russia Today, for example. A lot of people tend to write RT off and saying that Russia doesn't really have a good way of propagating their ideas within the American or Western European populace, because for the longest time, Russia Today has been holding and also using center-right and right-wing talking points in their coverage. So they were very pro-Trump, they were pretty critical of the Black Lives Matter movement in the US, for example, and obviously they're pro-Russian. So for the longest time, I believe that Russian propaganda is doing—
RT was on my nuts for riot footage, dude. They were all over it, Rupply and RT. They wanted all of the riot footage during 2020 and 2021.
Pretty well in the West, but it's only working for the people who are already kind of on the right. And there's no possible way you can parrot pro-Russian talking points to sort of leftist people. But the truth is that, guys, I was wrong. There are quite a few Western media outlets that are operating in English who not only have a very leftist agenda and leftist talking points, pro-LGBT, pro-BLM, anti-Trump, most importantly anti-US imperialism, we're gonna come back to this, but also pretty pro-Russian. And they are also pretty closely affiliated with RT and the Russian state. You guys never heard of it? Well, today we're gonna be looking at how Russian state propaganda co-ops leftist talking points and produces basically pro-Russian media for a leftist audience in the United States and Western Europe. This is some true informational warfare shit. And I'm gonna be honest, with the things we're gonna see in this video, you gotta kind of give props to whoever's doing this, because this is kind of smart, and I didn't think they reached this far. Oh yeah, I forgot to introduce myself. Hello Blazers, it is your boy Roman, your favorite neighborhood.
Like I said, I've been seeing it in real time. Like people that were out there in the protests that are like for sure left-leaning, like they're not, no doubt about it. And they were like towing the Russian narrative. I'm like, what the dude, what is happening? And that's when I really started to think, dude, they are affecting in more than just the far right.
These are the media known as Redfish and Soapbox Stand. Now these are pretty big. For example, Redfish has almost 500,000 followers on Instagram, and Soapbox Stand has almost 100,000. Now initially the way I actually found out about these is, I gotta explain myself, I'm kind of a left-leaning guy overall. I would call myself like a social democrat, kind of a Bernie bro if you would put me into like the realm of US politics. Not a huge fan of Trump or, you know, PragerU or RT or whatever, any sort of right-wing media. And I follow a lot of people who I agree with, obviously, and one of those people is Anthony Fantano, one of the biggest music critics in the world, the big YouTuber. You might know him. Anyway, I think this was in like early 2021 when there was another development of the conflict between Israel and Palestine, and I saw Anthony Fantano post something pro-Palestinian on his Instagram, and I went to check out the post, and under the post I saw like a little sign saying that this media is controlled by the Russian state, and I'm like, what is this? Because if you guys know politics, you obviously know that historically it just so happens that supporting Israel is a more of a right-wing stance in America, for example, when supporting Palestine is more of a left-wing stance. And that post was super clearly pro-Palestine, and it was posted by some accounts under which Instagram put like a special note saying that this account is owned by the Russian state. And I was like, what is this? A sort of left-leaning video posted by an account related to the Russian state? And that account was Soapbox Stand. And this is how I initially found out about this, and my mind was blown. Because like I already said, I thought Russian propaganda only sort of exists in the right-wing bubble, because Russia itself is pretty conservative, and a lot of the talking points you see on Russian news, for example, are pretty right-wing, and I would say in line with the Republican Party in the US. And then I went on the account and I was amazed. Now there's a funny turn with this account that happened recently, but I'm just gonna go to like, you know, a couple of months back before the recent events and see what this account is all about. So as you can see right here, this is a clearly very leftist Instagram account. You know, here we see something about ICE. We see quotes of prominent African-American rights activists, something pro-Palestinian here. Here's some like pro-socialist meme and also like making fun of US imperialism. And this is pretty much this account in general. It has like general leftist takes and actually might agree with a lot of the things that are on there. But the thing is that it's like every 10 posts or something, there's like something slightly pro-Russian in this account. This, for example, this was in December 2021. It's about fighting glorification of Nazism. And I guess it was some sort of vote, and it shows that US and Ukraine are the only ones against it. So this is interesting, right? This is interesting that they would post this. Or, you know, this right here, when you have zero corruption because of covert lobbying, saying that, you know, the US is just corrupt as like Russia is or whatever, any other Eastern country, but they just call it differently. And I mean, again, you can criticize lobbying, but it's interesting. Or they have this right here about the Soviet Union and its parts in winning World War II, saying that more Soviets died than Americans. And I mean, this is facts though. I agree with that. The Soviets have suffered probably the biggest sacrifice, but America helped a lot as well with their Lend-Lease and everything. Whatever, I'm not talking about that. It's just interesting that this leftist media talks about what the Soviets did in World War II. Like, this is not something an average leftist media would talk about, right? Because it has to do with Russia. And now, guys, the thing is, we gotta wait for the ultimate punchline, which is what happens to this media outlets once the special military operation in Ukraine started. So on February 25th, they posted this. Fuck, three-letter word that starts with the word W. I'm not gonna say it, but yeah. And here's what they said, by the way. Like many, we underestimated the threat of a Russian attack given the countless lies told by the West to push for. We were wrong in our predictions. We condemn intervention not to in Ukraine. Bro, even like in this post, they cannot stop talking about Western propaganda. It's incredible. But what followed next was actually pretty crazy too. On 1st of March, they posted Russia without Putin. What is happening? Well, guys, I found the answer. You see that logo there? At the bottom says Mavic. Mavic is actually a social media company that owns Soulbox stands, and it is affiliated with Ruptly.
Some motherfuckers, dude. Oh my god.
Which is part of RT, Russia Today. I mean, it's on Wikipedia. It says that it's been labeled a Russian state-backed entity by Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube due to its connections to German-based Mavic Media GmbH, which was majority owned by RT, Russia Today. And here's the punchline, you guys. On February 28th, 2022, CEO Anisa Nawai, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, terminated Mavic's service agreement with RT following the, again, I can't say this, special military operation in Ukraine. So, bro, these motherfuckers were straight up posting like Russian propaganda disguised as leftist media for years. And only now did they were like, okay, this is going too far now. We've been calling Ukrainians Nazis prior to this, but now we see what our actions led us to. I mean, this is just poetic, because the thing is that I wanted to make a video on this like outlet before, but now that this happened and they actually like quit and basically said fuck Russia. It's poetic, dude.
After they were hammering Russia's propaganda. Like, after the damage had been done, then they posted fuck Putin or whatever. What did it say? What was the thing? Where are we at? So I don't lose the spot. 704. You might show it again. That is poetic. I think he gets to it again.
So it's poetic, dude. And yeah, this archived tweet is what the lady who runs the Soulbox stand media said. Today I cut all ties with RT.
Russia without Putin. I cut all ties with RT. I have terminated Mavic's service agreement with the channel and served all contact. Full stop. Full stop.
Have terminated Mavic's service agreement with the channel and served all contact. Full stop. And actually, this lady used to be a RT reporter before she started this media, so I think it's just really interesting for her now, right? To live and to see real consequences of her actions. Oh boy. Anyway, now let's talk about Redfish. So Redfish is also owned by Ruptly, which is part of RT. And I think their Twitter bio is hilarious. Redfish. And then there you have the Twitter, like, official, sign that says Russia state-affiliated media. And then the bio says, not Russia state-controlled media. Editorially independent with the oppressed. Anyway, Redfish is more popular than Soulbox Stand. And I've been, looking around on their Instagram trying to see what they're posting right now. And the majority of it is basically has to do with, again, criticizing American imperialism, which again is a rightful thing to do. And this is something that, well, Western leftists do this all the time, literally. If you go on any Western socialist streamer he's gonna be talking about like the US meddling with socialist revolutions and stuff in South American countries, etc.
Hassan.
People talk about this. So as you can see, the majority of the stuff here is about Palestine, something about Gagarin here, cool. Soviet memorial desecrated in Germany. Yeah, I mean, this is a good one. This is a good one right here. This is.
So this is where all the leftist shit's coming from for pro-Russian support. They were blending the lines between oligarch and entrepreneur, authoritarian, law and order, which again, yes, but it's coming from Russia.
Perfect. And this was posted on 5th of April, by the way. So yeah, you can see, like, you know, they post in protests, like anti-Ukrainian protests. But I was actually interested in seeing what they would post when the special military operation just started. So here it is. They're talking about oil prices. This was the first thing they posted, by the way. And about weapons manufacturers stocks horizon, which makes sense, obviously, you know. As global markets fall following Russia's announcement of a military operation in Ukraine, oil prices are reaching new peaks, and weapons manufacturers are making profits. Time and again, innocent lives are lost while the arms and oil industries benefit from the As Lenin puts it, without overthrowing capital, it is impossible to end the by a truly democratic peace. Okay. So, capitalism is to blame for the current events between Russia and Ukraine. And look, guys, I'm like a fucking left-leaning guy, and I love shitting on capitalism, but bro, it's like, before I saw these outlets, I thought that there is no way like a pro-Russian sentiments can be fed to a leftist audience, but it shows that they can spin it in pretty much any way they can. This is like, this has like a leftist message, a Marxist-Leninist message, bro, in the context of the current events in Ukraine. This is like, what is going on? What is actually going on? Here they're posting about, you know, again, people protesting against NATO. Because obviously, when you criticize American imperialism, you've got to criticize NATO. And the thing is that, since Russia is at odds with NATO, this is very much, you know, it kind of fits, you know? So yeah, when I first saw these outlets, I was amazed because I was like, okay, well, the people who are doing this, they're actually way smarter than I thought. Because, okay, admittedly, to be honest, right, RT, Russia Today, is doing a pretty good job in promoting Russian talking points for Westerners, because that's their aim, right? That's their job, and I guess they're doing it well. Because, dudes, I'm getting a lot of comments on this channel from people who are basically using RT talking points, and I know they got it from RT. When I see, like, some 50-year-old boomer from Kentucky, whatever, saying, Russia is a great nation and a bastion of conservative hope or whatever, I know he got that opinion from RT. I've been aware of this for a long time. You can watch my video Stop Idolizing Russia if you want to see what I was talking about. That was like 2 years ago, and it pretty much holds true to this day. So again, I thought they're doing good by convincing, you know, right-wing people, sort of, or censors people. But again, I never thought that there's gonna be any way when they're gonna co-opt leftist talking points to promote Russian messages. But
again, I'm going back to when I talked about this in the early invasion, and I was seeing my timeline and all the people from the protests that are like activists and like were just towing the Russian line. And I was like, bro, what is going on? They're definitely, and I didn't know how they were doing it until I saw this video. Because it's easy to tell how they're influencing the Republican Party and the right wing. Easy to tell that. But how they're influencing the left was a little bit harder to tell. Now after this video, it's a little clearer.
Done that, and I think this actually ties in pretty well into Soviet talking points that's been used for a pretty long time. There's a certain argument and a certain phrase which has been used by Soviet propaganda to sort of fight back at the American claims of human rights violations in the Soviet Union. And this is the phrase known as, and I'm sorry for saying this, and you are lynching Negroes. Essentially, it's like a basic name for a type of like counter-propaganda, I guess, where Soviet Russia would say that, yes, the US is saying that we have, you know, human rights violations, we don't have freedom of speech, but at least we don't hang people because they're black, you know, at least we're not racist. In our beautiful country of the USSR, every nation and every race lives peacefully together. And America, you talk about human rights, but you guys are like killing black people in the streets. Essentially, that was their take for the longest time, and
that's the real thing in Russia.
For example, right here you can see like a piece of Soviet propaganda which shows America and a lynched black person. And this was also used as a tool of anti-capitalist propaganda in the Soviet Union as well, saying that, you know, communism is great, and in capitalism, you see, they need slavery, they need racial segregation, they need racism. You know, essentially pointing out the unfairness of the American society and trying to say that the Soviets got it better, and that
he's explaining how they tap into left-leaning propaganda. He's explaining exactly how they get into the emotions and how they propagate Russia's goal to the left. You just explained it. If you're wondering what the hell is going on right now, if you're
segregation, they need racism. You know, essentially pointing out the unfairness of the American society and trying to say that the Soviets got it better and that we don't kill black people. And to be honest, these leftist pro-Russian media are kind of doing the same thing. They're continuing the tradition because it's a deeply like anti-racist, pro-BLM, etc. Media outlet, and it's pretty easy to see the underlying message behind a lot of what they post there, essentially saying that the US is a deeply imperialist and racist and, you know, dystopian state, whatever. And other certain countries like Russia, for example, we don't have any racial issues, you know? We actually might be more free than America, right, guys? So you know what I'm talking about, and it's wild. Whoever, like, fucking came up with this on the RT team, like, let's fucking push our talking points with a leftist message, I mean, honestly, good job. I had no idea they would even think of this, but they've been doing it for years. I guess I'm done. So yeah, I mean, the point of this video is basically I'm just trying to say that Russian state propaganda is smarter than you think. Not only is it bigger than you think, but it also can influence your opinions in different ways that you might not even suspect. So yeah, all I want to say is just, you know, make sure to always check your info and don't let propaganda from any side influence you, and try to be rational, even if it's fucking impossible in the current state of the world. But yeah. Anyways, guys, yeah.
So the biggest thing I learned too with all this stuff that's going on is look into your own belief system. Look into your own where you vote. Like for me, I had to look inward instead of just looking at where all the enemies are out there. And then all it took for me was to, like, I guess not enemies, but people that are susceptible to narratives and talking points instead of looking into it themselves. And there's people like this on the left and the right all day long, dude. And nothing annoys me more than when I'm out there in the protests and you got like activists that are just like not even coming up with shit on their own. They're just repeating things. Like they're just no different. They're no better than the people that they're speaking out against from right-leaning people, because they don't think for them. They're not thinking for themselves either. It's all about thinking for yourself and challenging your thinking, challenging the thinking of those that think similar to you, and not believing everything that you hear, not believing everything that's told to you, even from your own. I mean, it's not like you need to go around like not believing anything, but like take a couple minutes and like even read an article. Do what I'm doing. Take a couple minutes and read. Reading is huge. Reading is big. Geography, knowing where things are on a map, that's huge. History, knowing your history so you can relate it to what's going on today, and like narratives and, oh, that doesn't sound right. Oh wait, that talking point's off because you're rooting it off of a falsehood in history. You know, that's a common tactic too. They're muddying the waters of history to make something they want to happen now a thing, or a false prophecy, a self-fulfilling prophecies where they make things happen themselves, and actually nothing would have happened to make that thing happen except for believing the propaganda that they're putting out, you know, towing the line, believing it. So challenge your own thinking, challenge your own brain. That's the best message I can give you. And if you're liberal or if you're left-leaning, hope this was eye-opening to you too, because yeah, it's easy to see how they're influencing the right wing. Easy. I mean, Russia says that they're communist, but they're not, dude. And that's like the biggest thing about Russia that's fucking me up, is that they're not at all. They're actually very conservative right wing, but that they play as if they're not. But they, like Roman said, Russian propaganda is smarter than you think, and that is why I am just, in terms of the war between Ukraine and Russia, it's at a stalemate. Russia's gonna go back into the original territories that they had from 2014, and then they're gonna sit and wait for elections in other countries, especially the United States. That 2024 election is gonna be a big deal. These midterm elections are already a big deal, but that 2024 election's. All right, you guys, have a wonderful night. Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. Make sure you like the video if you have not done so. Make sure your notifications are turned on. Consider subscribing to our gaming channel. I have a Snack Squad Gaming. We're playing the Metal Gear Solid franchise from start to finish. That tackles a lot of these subjects and tackles a lot of these topics through a video game medium. So it's a little fun. It's an entertainment, I guess, but it still tackles this subject. Metal Gear Solid, perfect game franchise for these topics, and I hope you guys do join us. Have a wonderful night. Again, thank you for tuning in to Mercado Media. I'm Andy Mercado. I'll see you guys tomorrow night, and take care.
This is a Russian tank. Like the Pacific salmon, Russian tanks migrate long distances from the abyss of Russia to end their lives in Ukraine's beautiful fields. Driven by an evolutionary desire to end their life somewhere better, after reaching Ukraine, all species of Russian tank die. The 2022 run was a major event for predators, such as Ukrainian SOF teams, TB2 Bayraktars, and local farmers on tractors. Most tank species pop their turrets to celebrate the end of their life cycles.